Yeah.
Mostly I wanted to bring it up because I wanted to talk about, because I know that she won't do this, and I wanted to have Faith make a clip about this, of me talking about this, to just like give her a shout out, because she won't talk about it. I mean, Tavish got to be around her a lot, and just being there, just like being her, dude, she's a superstar, and people love her. I mean, so many people come up to her, and she had a freaking army there of people.
She did.
And that says...
It was a big group.
She had a big group, man.
Big
And
group.
that says a lot. You know, like there's a lot of these competitors that come to these shows, you know, and nobody shows up. They don't have anybody there.
Yeah.
And, you know, but like these people that have an army behind them, I think it says a lot about their character. And the part that I want to talk about for her is just the shit that she went through, like for this prep, because I know she's not going to talk about it, is, you know, her stepdad, who basically raised her, you know, she let me know that he wasn't doing well. And then maybe like a couple weeks ago, she let me know they had moved him to hospice. And then he actually died Tuesday before the show. And so, you know, and she was dealing with that and other family stuff that she was dealing with. And like, dude, it didn't phase her at all. I mean, I'm sure it did internally.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is she was able to, you know, suppress all that and deal with it and compartmentalize it. And, you know, I would always be like, well, if you need to talk, like, let me know. Like, I need to, you know, I'm not really sure as a coach, I'm not sure, you know, really what to say or what I need to do, but I need you to know, like, if you need to talk about it, whatever you need, if you want to just pretend like it's not even happening and you want to just carry on, we can do that too. But if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. And she's like, I understand that. I appreciate that. I'm fine. You know, like I'm just used to operating like this. And that's her energy, man. Like, what was her energy like?
I've never seen people in such a large amount gravitate towards one person. Like like, even just escorting her out of like the athlete meet and greet, and she would just be walking and people would just yell her name, whatever, and she would just perk up and say hi. It's not like she would stop and talk. It was just people just wanted to.
And she genuinely loves everybody.
Yes, there was no like, I mean, I asked her, I said, do you want me to like tell people to like fuck off? Like, you have all these, like some of the creepy guys that I thought were like coming up. I mean, she was like, no, they're just,
she's got a lot of schmoes that come up,
you know, but she treats everybody the same. There's no bias towards anyone that she meets. She's the same person, every single like every person that she meets, she is the same all across the board.
And just unlimited energy.
And if I didn't know about what she went through, you never would have known that she had stuff going on. You would have no clue.
And I want to get her on here to have her on the podcast to tell her story, because it's pretty. I'm not going to talk about it at all. That's her business to share. But I would like, you know, like going way back, like to where she came from, and you'll be able to, people will make sense of like why she is the way she is and the path that she chose and the decisions that she makes and how she lives her life, because she really is like, you know, like me and you, and we're all like anti-phony. She ain't no phony. And like her story needs to be told, but she's not going to tell it unless you pry it out of her.
Yeah.
You know, she just kind of goes on Instagram and does her thing and reposts the things people tag her in and throws her shit up. But she's busy living life, like real life.
Yeah.
You know, making an impact, and she goes to the gym and she's training people, and she's not caught up in all the hoopla.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just talk about her for a minute. And, you know, she's, when you say has it in regards to Chris, Brooke has it.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about that I thought was interesting was, this was my first taste of working with someone with that level of genetics.
Yeah.
And I was talking about this with Austin yesterday, but I'm probably the only coach that would maybe say this out loud, but like, because most coaches would take the transformation that she made from last year to this year, and they wouldn't really talk about this. They would just want the attention and be like, ooh, look what I did. Look what I did.
Right.
But I'm also, you know, I'm also not naive to the fact that I know that I played a big role in that.
Right.
But that only worked because she's so genetically elite, man. Like everything that I had her do works. I'm aware enough to know that I played a huge role in it, but I'm also aware enough to know that we got the transformation we got because of her genetics and also because of her ability to execute and how hard she works.
Yeah.
So that's what people are seeing when people are like, you know, because I'm going to get this wave of girls now I know that are going to be like, I want to make me Brooke Walker. Yeah. And I'm going to have this conversation with a lot of girls where it's like, okay, like, I feel like a lot of coaches would take that and not say anything because then it's just like a money grab.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have a conversation with a lot of girls where it's like, I understand that, but you're not Brooke Walker.
Yeah.
She has this it factor that, you know, you may or may not have.
Yep.
But all we can do, you know, what we're seeing is a product of her just doing things optimally for a longer period of time. Yeah. And then talking about ceilings, like what excites me that most people don't know is her ceiling is still like up here and she's still here because there's so much that we can teach her within training. Like she still has no idea how to train, man. She's just gotten there just through working hard where she's at now. And then now that she's had me for a year, that's gotten better. Yeah. But there's still things that we can make perfect. Yeah. And then, you know, like on the supplement side of things, extremely conservative, you know, so there's room for improvement across the board. And that's what I'm excited about because we should be able to, you know, you and I together really create something to where I think she can come back next year. And it's like this year was, even though she got third last year, it was like, okay, great job. She's amazing. She arrived. But like this year it was like put a stamp on that. And it's like, now she's coming to win. And there just needs to be more of her to do that, especially from the back. Yep. And if we show up next year with that, I think that she can win. And I think that she will be the standard for that division. So it's just a matter of time. But I thought it was interesting to the point of genetics where it's just like, there's one angle you can take where it's like that a lot of coaches that don't have genetically elite people are like, well, anybody could do that with that person. A monkey could have got them there. Yeah. Okay. Maybe, but also I feel like it does take a certain skill set to deal with people that have genetics like that. To my point, I would say I wanted a Ferrari. Right. I got one. But you still, when you have a Ferrari, you still have to not crash the Ferrari. Right. And that's a skill in of itself. Yeah. And so there were just a lot of things I noticed that it's almost like with that. And I think that the most relatable way that you could think about this is maybe like other professional athletes in other sports, like in the NFL, for instance, is the strength and conditioning coach's job at that level is they're not having them Olympic weightlift. They're not pushing them like they would have in high school or in college. At that point, it's like, you're so talented and gifted. Now I have you. They're teaching them very basic things, and they just want them to take care of themselves and control their body composition and just have them be healthy. Yeah. So it's almost like, how can I get you and then keep you healthy and not fuck you up? Yep. And with people in our sport, it's kind of no different. You know, you're basically taking them and not fucking them up. Yeah. And that's kind of what I feel like I'm doing. And kind of that's a skill in of itself as well. And even when it comes into like peak week, I notice with her is just like, and I think with like a lot of people at that level is, and we hear people talk about this all the time is don't fuck up your peak week. Don't change anything in your peak week and blah, blah, blah. And while it's not necessarily true that you don't change anything at all, you don't just start fucking throwing darts at the wall and hoping that they stick or whatever the saying is. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people do. So it was just like, it was a fun experience to get to like a taste of what it's like to work with someone with genetics like that, because like everything that you do works, but you still need to know what to do. Yeah. So I'm kind of giving myself and kind of not giving myself credit at the same time.
Yeah. Which